Hello, everyone. A very good morning to you all. Thank you for taking out your time to come and attend our webinar. My name is Shishir, so I'll be your host representative for this upcoming session. This series of webinar is actually a continuation of our previous webinars where we have talked about other aspects where DTX, the product that we're going to talk about, has helped our customers in terms of connecting with ERP, project planning, BOM management, and demand forecast of materials. So if you have missed any of our previous webinars, feel free to reach out to the same webinar invite mail or our marketing team that is marked in that invite mailer. And we will share you the details of those webinars and any other content that we have with regards to those. And we'll keep you posted on any of the future events that will happen again in on those lines. And if possible, I will also try to see if I can cover those topics in a brief at the end of the session, so that I can give you a quick intro to the topics or the other modules that the DTX has. I hope my audio is clear, and I have shared my screen. If someone can just confirm in the chat that you can see my screen and my audio is clear, then we will continue with the. Okay. Moving forward, let me just give a quick introduction about myself. So, as I said, my name is Shishira. I am the product owner of the DTX, that is Digital Transformation for Excellence product at Beacon. And I have been working with various customers across the various verticals uh, for past more than 5 years. And my major work is on ensuring that implementation of the and integration of various and PDM frameworks and systems, talking with CAD and ERP systems. So that's what is my work experience in terms of what I've been doing at Beacon. And a quick introduction about Beacon as such. I know as most of you already know about it, but just let me just brief a little bit. So Beacon is India's largest SolidWorks reseller, and we have been serving our customers for more than 2 decades, and we have more than 5,000 plus customer base. Now, having been serving these 500,000 plus customers, we have been providing them with tools or softwares that are into product development, with design and manufacturing automation solutions. And over these 2 decades, what we have observed is that even with these multiple solutions and systems that our customers are working, they still find certain gaps or certain challenges while trying to connect the systems across the design and manufacturing process. To assist our customers to overcome these challenges or gaps, we proudly introduce DTX, that is our Digital Transformation for Excellence. And today's agenda of our webinar would be on one such particular gap that we have observed is with regarding how do we collaborate and work with vendors and suppliers when it comes to the design and manufacturing part of the processes. Now, as I mentioned, DTX is an initiative by Beacon. This is an homegrown product that we have developed. That what I mean to say is that we take care of its development, implementation, support, and everything. So we customize the tool based on the requirement across the customers or the across the verticals, suiting their need. So there are certain base functions that are available. On top of it, we can enable a little bit of customization here and there, and enabling connection across systems and all that. Now, DTX plays a vital role in connecting different systems that might not usually work together. And every customer has various processes that could be made better for smoother collaboration and integration across for having a data exchange seamlessly. As a part of this process, we introduce collaboration, and making a significant development aiming easing the working of vendors and suppliers in this particular module of DTX that we will see in a while. Now, DTX acts as a transformative solution, giving our customers the necessary tools to begin their digital transformation journey. Now, as you know, currently we are surrounded by technology that is moving at a very high, fast pace, where data is being used to do a lot of stuff in terms of analyze, study a process and then use those information for further improvements in the processes. So that's where the digital transformation journey is being talked about, and that's where DTX comes into picture and helps our customers in getting onto that journey and ensuring that their data, their systems, and everything works together seamlessly, ensuring that they can benefit of having all these systems, take advantage of them, and then ensure that they are progressive. DTX is an initiative that is being led by Mr. Naina Ramaswamy, along with a team of 20 members that are working day in day out on the product DTX. And he has an experience of over 25 years in software development and has worked with renowned companies like Dassault Systems, Autodesk, Think3, Siemens Business, and many more in the field of construction and manufacturing industries. Before we get into the sessions in much more detail, uh, let's just give a brief of what DTX offers. So DTX offers BOM and item master management, where it helps you to manage your item master, the BOM, sharing, working with multiple products, all that, and project planning, where you can manage your project, schedule, tasks, and also track the performance. Next is insights and forecast, where we will use the data that is available in your organization with regards to your ERP, your PDM, your PLM, your BOM, or any other system that is having information on what you work on and provide you with the necessary dashboards or insights that could help you in identifying any hurdles in your processes that can be further improved or give you required dashboards that will help you in making better decisions in terms of improving your process. Further, we also have custom development team that will help you in having custom developments done with regards to either APIs or with regards to any other process oriented improvement that you want to do or automation that you want to do. So we do take care of custom development as well. And lastly, the integration service, where we help CAD, PDM, PLM systems to connect with ERP systems, as I was speaking a moment ago, about the digital transformation journey, where DTX is going to play my vital role for our customers in leaping forward with that transformation journey in terms of capturing the data that they have and be able to draw some intelligence out of it and have a seamless connection across systems so that they don't have to go across multiple systems to see how things are going. They can use DTX as a single source or single window, which will give them all the information that they need with regards to the organization that the activities are being performed. Now, at this point, I will just quickly want to post it, post just to understand the audience that we have today. Okay. So this is to understand what are challenges that you are facing when it comes to the vendor or supply management process. So I'll keep this poll open for another couple of minutes. So kindly fill in. So as I can see that around 78% of you have issues with mismatched data that when sharing with vendors, ensuring that right data goes to vendors. Also tracking the project delays that happens where the vendors have been outsourced, like the activities are outsourced to the vendors. Then comes the loss of time due to communication gap, and lastly the sharing data security. Now, all these are challenges on which the DTX has been developed when it comes to vendor supply management. So we'll see how each of these challenges can be overcome with the help of DTX functions or features that we have. So I'd like to post one more poll real quick. One and this is about understanding what type of document data are you working with when you're sharing your information with regards to vendors. So you can quickly fill on this. I'll just keep it open for another couple of minutes. So as I can see, majority of you are sharing documents and any user like I'm assuming it could be something like a Word, PDF, or drawings, or any of those documentation with regards to design or manufacturing process that you're sharing with your vendors or suppliers. And then comes the project activities or the bill of materials. Now, second, around 50% has been given others. So, if you would help us in understanding what are those data points by answering it, like putting a question across, so that we will take that up as we go forward. Now, moving on with the agenda of this webinar, that is collaboration with vendor suppliers and how DTX is going to help us. Now, first and foremost, when do we connect with vendors and suppliers is when we want to outsource any particular design or manufacturing activity. So putting it as outsourcing is a very generic way of putting it, but Majorly, it would be like where we are either buying some kind of some items, either it could be a raw material, or it could be a certain special grade or special item which is either already processed or it's of another level of material that we want to procure. So we go to vendors or suppliers to get those data, and in this process, we always end up sharing information with regards to the requirement that we have. And how do we do that? Is with the help of sharing the design documents, sharing bonds, and either offloading the whole project activity to that particular external vendor or supplier who is giving you the service. Now, in the same sequence, let us see how DTX gonna help us when we talk about sharing the design documents, sharing the BOM, and also offloading project activity. So starting with the sharing of design documents, the first and foremost comes is the documentation where we are trying to share certain like a Word, Excel, or any other document that captures certain requirements of ours, and we want to share it with vendors to just that is the very first beginning where we exchange information on what are our requirements. So such data is shared, and then we go about actually closing the deal with the vendors and suppliers to start getting the items from them. Now, to do that, DTX has something called as forms, so where you can define. So as you can see on the screen, I have kept one simple example that is a job order form. Now this can be customized to be any other form. As we go forward, I will actually show you how this particular form looks like, or we can customize. So we have function of being the ability to customize these templates, assign these to a particular user across from your vendor, and then collaborate and also capture other details with regards to the form that you're sending, and then the requirement as such, and then process it further. Okay. So let me quickly go to the GTX. Yeah. So this is my GTX page, homepage, where I log in with my credentials. So each user gets a credential, and the roles of each user can be defined by the admin of that particular tenant. So we call it a tenant or the company that is working in the DTX. So here, my company name is Delta Engineering and Corporation. So here, when I come to my forms, you can see there I have kept multiple templates of the forms. Like there's a material request form, there's inspection form, job order form. You saw the sample of that in the PPT, project feasibility. So I kept all this. We'll go in detail one by one. So the very first thing is we have the ability to customize them. So how do we do that? So in the forms, when we come across, we have the ability to create our own templates. So you start with a blank slate where you can start inserting. You can just say, I would like to first add the company with whom I'll be working, and then I'll add the user to pick one of the users across from that company. And then further, I can add what is this description is about, like what is this form about, what we're trying to capture. Now if this form is more to do with, like for example, in the job order form we're talking about certain materials, or if we're talking about material dispatch, again we're talking about materials. So in such cases where comes where you want to attach your materials, then we have the material section. This comes from the area where we have item master and BOM, where we are storing our materials data. It could be something that you're storing within DTX, or it is something that is coming from the ERP system or wherever your current item master is being stored. So we can make a link with DTS item master and we can show them here, so that when you're sharing or we are getting requirements, you can attach those materials as the properties so that you can come to know which material it is about. And also you can add other inputs, like there are other formats, date format, yes or no radio button, and a list. If you have a predefined drop down list you want to use, so you can add that as well. So once we add that, this is how the form will look like, wherein user can interact and then fill it. Now, let me just show you one of these. So if I go to this project feasibility, here I have defined with which company I'm working with and which is the user that would be responsible taking care of this project. What would be the start date, end date for this project? What are the materials that are being considered for this project? So let's start with that. So I'll create a new form. I'll come here to the form section. So so far we saw how are we customizing them. So once we customize our form, we can see all of them across here, and then we can start creating our forms. Now, an important thing here is now how do we work with collaborators, or how are we differentiating? So as I mentioned, Delta Engineering and Corporation is my company that I'm working in. And you can see there are child tenants that we need, that is ST Private Limited and Draft CAD Engineering. That is actually my vendors and suppliers. So how do I manage my vendors and suppliers? The very thing I come here in the very beginning, the home dashboard, where we have the information about the users and the vendors that you're working with. The company's list is basically my vendors list. This is where I manage them. So whenever I want to invite any particular vendor to work with me, what I do is I use the invite tenant button, and I then fill the details, like what is his email ID, what is their name, and then give other company details like what is the name of the company, and what is the GST and other details as such. Okay. So once we give that, invitation goes to them. And the user has to accept the invitation, which will allow them to create a login credentials, just like how we saw in the beginning where I was doing my credentials. Similarly, they will create a login credential, and with that, they will become part of your vendor management, like not vendor management, like the vendor list. And once the vendors are added, you can always manage whether they're active or keep them active to work along with them or to deactivate them once the if it is like a contract based vendor, then you can just close the account for them, and then ensure that none of the data that is shared with them is no more available to them. So all this functions with regards to managing the vendors here can be done. And here we have users. These users are my company users like Ganesh and Karthik Paul. They are part of my design team and the procurement team. So I've added them here. So if any other users are there, I can manage here. And this is where I manage my vendors. Now coming to the forms, so as I mentioned, let's create a new project feasibility form. So here I'm saying that this particular, well, there's one project that would be worked with, let's say, SD Private Limited. So I just select them again and then say which is the user. Now in this case, it's Sriganda who is my vendor. So let's log in with her ID and see how the interface looks for her. I hope my screen and audio are fine, and I hope my pace is fine. If you want me to slow down further, just let me know in the chat. I'll slow it down. So now I have logged into Sriganda's ID. That is my vendor basically here. So as you can see, since I logged in as a vendor, I don't have any of my modules. It's pretty much empty over here because as a collaborating vendor, I just work on the items that have been shared by Delta Engineering. So how do I access that? So I can access it from here. You can see Delta Engineering company, sorry, the corporation. Upon clicking that, then I get access to other data that are there with regards to Delta Engineering that has been shared with Sriganda. So we'll come to this page in a while. So let's continue on. So we were creating our project feasibility form. So I select with whom I'm working, the vendor. What would be the ideal, start date, end date of this project? I can select say somewhere around 20th of August, and it will end in September around 13th. Now here I can define what is the project, like what will be built or what will be done in this project. So you can see here I have this whole list of materials. Okay. Now this material list is coming from my item master. Okay. So we'll go back to the item master and I'll just give you a brief about what that is in a while as we go forward one by one. So here I'm getting all the list of all the items that are there in my system, and I can filter for, let's say there's one component with FG that I want to assign. So I'll select this particular code and I'll say add. So this will be added here, saying that this is the item that is being processed with regards to this particular activity, and what is the quantity that needs to be either procured or processed, whatever it may be the case. So here I'll add 10 quantities, and I can define the address and other parameters. These are just properties that I'm capturing with regards to that. Okay. Now I'll say address. Yeah, I'll just give some number 12 8 cross Bangalore. Now, let's say if there are any other supporting documents that have to be attached, like if there are certain proper, so any, like, let me just go here. I have one document for internal project requirement where I'm capturing what is this all project about. So in this case, I'm taking the project example, but in your case, it could be something else, like whatever you're procuring or whatever you're trying to buy or sell or whatever is the case when you're working with a vendor. So I'll attach this document so that they can read the information with regards to this document and understand what the requirement is all about. And I'll give some feedback saying the feasibility of this project is possible and whether it's existing or not, something that Sriganda will provide saying that we have this project with us or not, and any other remarks that they want. Now, before I submit this, let me just save this as a draft. I just select a due date. Just a minute. So this is like putting a target on this particular form that by this time it's supposed to end or someone has to close this. So this kind of target, so we'll keep it 1 week's time and we will save it. So currently I've saved it as a draft. The reason why I save it draft is because I just want to keep the content there right now. Later, once I fill the rest of the content, I can share it with Sriganda. So if I go right now to Sriganda's ID, so you can see I am in Sriganda's ID over here, and I selected Delta Engineering. In the forms, when I go here, I can see there are no forms as of now. Okay, particularly assigned to me, I cannot see any of those forms. But now let's say I go and edit this form once more. But this time, rather than saving it as a draft, I'll change status to open, which is basically saying that this is being published or is being sent to Sriganda or the feedback she provided. So I'll just say click on update. So now that has been assigned to her. If I go to the page and just say refresh, now you can see the form has come in my view. Now from here, I'll be able to edit the form, give my inputs of whatever the project feasibility are, and then share this and then share it back to me, and then the conversation goes on like that. Okay. So that is about forms. So we saw how we can customize the template, assign a user, share with them so there they can feed the information and then keep on exchanging. And at one point, once the data is filled, we can close the form and then we can take next set of action. Now, other thing with forms is that forms is not just about capturing the data. We can go one step ahead. Uh, with regards to what we were talking in the very beginning, that DTX is all about helping our customers on digital transformation journey so that we can use the data that are being fed into the forms to draw intelligence and give you information the way you want. Like, let's say you want to know how many vendors you have worked in past year, how many vendors you have worked in past 6 months, or what kind of data or on what project you are working on with regards to the vendors, or for what activity were you working, how or anything else that we capture in the forms with regards to data we capture, we can use that, study, analyze, and provide you in a way that it will be useful to you in understanding your, you know, vendors, supplier, and activities that are being exchanged between you and your vendors and suppliers. Now let's go next. So that's about documents. Like this is the most common thing that we see in our customers, where you're sharing either a model PDF or drawings to the vendor so that they can utilize it to produce the good that you want or the material that you want, and then share you back or dispatch you their items to you. So when it comes to documents, DTX, as I mentioned, we can see it's on a cloud. So it is securely stored on the cloud with the help of AWS security services, and it will help you in managing documents and version controls. So whenever you want to access, only the permission given users can access the documents, they can update and all those things. And also the ability to collaborate and share. That's what we're going to see in a minute when it comes to documents. So let me go to my browser here. So this is the document section. Now within the documents, there are two types of two ways to store a document. One is in the master with regards to, yeah. So the document, so we were talking about documents. So we can store documents on two levels. One is on a master level. So when I say master level, that means it applies to all the projects that I'm working with, or it could be somewhere where I'm storing it as a repository to be visible to everyone. Okay, whoever is part of my user list. So whichever user I've added here, they can access everything with regards to documents that are out here. But this specifically with regards to project. So in project again, depending on what the project needs are, we will be able to store the documents as well. Okay. So these will become specific to the project data, and again, this data will only be viewable by the respective project users. Okay. So if let's say you have 10 users in your company, but in each project there are only two or three. So whatever data is stored in the project will be visible only to those two or three users of that particular project, and rest of the company people will not be able to see the project data over there. Okay. Now coming to the collaboration part. So let's say this is a project that I'm working with, and here I want to collaborate with Sriganda again, for example. Now here I have two documents. One is a drawing PDF, other is another document with regards to the feasibility report that we have. Now, I have already shared this document with Shrikanta. Now, let me show you how this works. So, if I go to my document section and I'm in Delta Engineering Corporation, if I go to the project, you can see in my login, I had three projects in my name along with the master. Okay, but whereas when I come to Shrikanta, she can see only one project. Reason being, only that project information has been shared with her. Okay. For the rest of the two projects, I haven't shared any data with Sriganda, so she doesn't have access to those projects. She has only access to this project that I have worked, shared data from. So when I select this, you can see only the head assembly that was shared with her is in access with her right now, and the other files which are part of the same folder or the same project are no more accessible to her. Okay, so this is the way that you can share. Now, what about collaboration? Well, like when we are using collaboration, but it's more about a to and fro communication that happens between the vendor and the company that is working along with. In this case, it could be you and your vendors. So how do we do that? So you can see there is already two versions of this document prepared, and this particular document is in check-in state. So if I want to edit, what I will do is I'll check out, do modifications, and then I'll share it back. So let me just check this out. Hmm, wait a minute. Project image. Mhm. Let me just check. Mhm. That's it. Let me select her once more. So this is how we actually select the users. So I select the tenant with whom I'm working. Then I select the user to whom it should be shared, and I'll say share project. Okay. So far, I have shared two versions of this document with Sriganda. Now, other thing is that when we're working on this, we can all actually use annotations. So this is where I was coming to in terms of collaboration. There are two ways to do the collaboration. One is with the help of annotations, because you can see here we have various toolbar to define the annotations, and here we have comment section where I can add the comments which I want to communicate across. The other way is with the help of the annotation. So let me just go and do the annotations here. Let me just zoom it out. Now, let's say in this particular design, there is one particular change that I cannot do as a vendor. So I'm currently in Sri Vendor. So I'm supposed to be working with Delta Engineering to develop one of the components for this particular design. So in this case, if I want to add annotations, I just say select this. I select which color I want, and I can define what style, like size, the size of the brush that it should have. So all that we can define. And then let's say this particular pen, and also in the palm, I'll try to find where the pen is, and I'll say that particular pen cannot be processed. Reason being, some item is not being able to procure because of non-availability or whatever the reason. So I'll mark that particular. I think it is part of shoulder tooling. So I'll mark this particular item in the BOM saying that these two are the things that are not, and I'll put a text stating what this is about. shoulder link is no more available in market. Okay. Alternate is the link from, let's say, a company called as K-Link. So I mention this, then I can drag and position it here to indicate this is part of this. And I can also add arrows just to indicate this comment to get this one. And another arrow indicating where it is in this particular design. Okay. And then I'll save this. So once I save this, what will happen is that when I come over here, I just have to refresh, go back. And when I view this, you can see the annotation which was not there earlier is now available with me. Okay. Now, apart from this, what else we can do is when it comes to sharing the data, we have a few more options, which the person who is sharing, that is in this case, it could be you, is that we can do some control checks like disable downloads. So that's what happens is that the vendor will not be able to download this file for his usage. He can only see it in the browser of the DTX. Which we further we can have control on who can download the documents and who cannot. And this is specific to the document and the persons whom we have shared. So in this case, I have shared with Shrigana, so it will apply to her. If there are multiple users, then it will apply to all of them, saying all these users cannot download or whatever the case. Okay. So this way, we can easily store the documents in the DTX document section, and we can manage versions. As you could see, every check-in, checkout can have different versions. So let me just try to show you that operation as well. So I'll check this out. So it says checked out by me. And if I want to upload a revision, I'll select this and let me go back to the PDF. Just have one PDF here. Okay, let me just look for another. Here I have the PDF. I'll upload this. So what will happen is that this will create a new version of that. It's asking me to confirm if I want to upload. So once I upload, you can see a version has been bumped to a third version, and I can check this in to make the update. Now, when I view this, the new version, since there was no annotation to this, there will be no information about that. But if I were to go and view the previous annotations, you can see here this annotation is still intact with that version. And to the previous, there was one more that was being talked about. So that again is intact. Okay. So this way you'll be able to keep track of whatever communication happened between each of the vendors and you, and understand what was the feedback given at that point of time, and then if you want to retrace, you can easily retrace with help of this. Okay. Next is so we also saw how we can do the collaboration sharing. Now let's look at BOM data, how we can share bill of materials to the vendors so that we can work with them on the quantity of the BOM. So we'll be able to define various bill of materials either on project level again. So this is again for BOMs can also be defined specific to the master where everyone within the organization can see. Again, we can put it to the specific to the project so that only project specific data is shared to them, and you'll be able to manage various BOM versions. Also be able to manage the item master and model master. Okay, so let's look into that. Now, currently I am in Monet's ID. So this is my master. So here I can see my item master. So this is all the items that I work with when it comes to my product that I'm developing. Okay, in this case is that particular might have saw image that you saw. This is what I produced. So all the items with regarding to that are stored here, including the raw materials that are out there. Okay, and in item master, it's not just the materials that we can store, we can also store resources. The resources here is in this case is my equipments that go into my production. So it could be any of the CNC machines, any of the drilling machines, any of the lathe machines, or any other equipment that I am utilizing in my organization or the manufacturing or production purposes. So I can include them And the reason why that will help me is when I'm trying to do a plan, which will come in minutes, to that where we can define a plan and we can utilize and define resources. We will see that. And also materials. This way, here I can see all my materials, and there are various properties with regards to each of these materials. So let me just go to the master, because in project level I cannot do any of the actions. So in master we can do a lot more actions with regards to that. So here what actions we can do is that we can control the life cycle of this material, whether it is an obsolete material or it is active material. So currently these all are active. If I want to mark any particular material as obsolete, I just click on this. This will mark that particular item as obsolete. Okay. Now whenever I'm trying to do that, it will also show me saying that these two particular are the related bonds to which this particular material is associated. Do you still want to go and obsolete? So that we'll know this will help us in making a decision to which the bonds it affects, and if they are active, then we should go and update those bonds. Otherwise, we can just go ahead and make them as obsolete. Further, you can lock a material. Now, this is more like where you're as admin, you are preventing any other user of your organization going and modifying the contents of the material. Okay, so whenever they're unlocked, user can go modify properties, update the properties, but once you lock it as admin, users cannot go and modify those particular documents. So if I lock it, you can see I don't get any of the other edit options. So I have to unlock this as an admin, then we get the options to add the properties. Now there are two properties areas that we can fill. One is the generic. So this is the general property where we're capturing what is the material ID, material name, PLM ID, unit of measurement, product code. Now, in our case, whenever a material has a bill of material, that means it's a product because it has child component to it. So it becomes a semi-finished good. So it is a product by itself. So we can define a product code in case wherever BOM of this particular material is to be created. And further, we have other properties with regards to the group that they belong to: weight unit, cost, effective date, what is the inventory that is currently available. So we can link this with the ERP system to capture some of these fields which you can see here, which are default. And you can also assign tags. So we have something called a tag mechanism where let me go to another view. Let me just log out and log in with another account to show you how tags are. So tag is basically the function to associate a particular material or a task with a category so that to be easier for you to identify that particular item. So here, let's say for this is a task tag, so we can define what type of activity or categorize the activity that is being done in the project. And there's material tags where you can categorize them into various sections. So this is with regards to one of the projects that we have done for one of our customers. So where we have defined these various, they will work on this coupling, weld, joints, and pipes. So they have categorized them into various categories. Like the stamp is further bifurcated to this, then it follows down. Similarly, pipe followed by this, then this again drills down to multiple levels. So as you can see, it keeps on going ahead. So as we keep looking for the, as we drill down to each and every tag. So this way it will be easier to identify what type of category does the material belongs to. Okay. Similarly, in my case, I have put one particular category that is for the raw materials. So let me just show you that. So here I've created raw material. I'm defining whether it's a plastic or not. So I can further define other properties like whether it is a steel, stainless steel, or any such define a steel, and then under the steel you can define a carbon steel, or you can define a iron, sorry, composite steel, or you can stainless steel, whatever be the case, you can define the category. So yeah, that's about the properties that we capture. You can also attach any documents with regards to your items. So if there are any bordered items and you want to have certain documents against those particular items, you can attach those just like how we were doing for the upload documents. So you can attach them. And we have custom form where you can, as we were talking about the forms in the beginning, we can define additional properties. So this form is quite empty because I haven't defined anything here. But let's say apart from the properties over here, if you want to capture any other property with regards to your materials, you can always associate or create new fields in the form section, and that field will come across. Okay. So now this is about the item master. Now when we come to BOM, so here we can, as I mentioned, we can create bill of material for a product basically. So in this case, I have one FG and two FFGs that are actually becoming a complete product altogether. So in this, I have various bill of materials that are coming across, and these bill of materials are being captured from SolidWorks. So what I mean by that, I can upload the CAD BOM directly to the DTX with the help of the plugin. I'll show you as we go forward if we have enough time to cover on that. Okay, so we have a plugin that will enable us to push the BOM directly from SolidWorks CAD, and the structure comes along based on the CAD structure that's out there. And now once I create any of these BOMs, so let me just go to project back to this project over here. So this whatever we were seeing was on the master level. But when it comes to the project, in specific to the project, I have these three different BOMs that I'm utilizing for my activities. So this particular BOM, if I want to share with the vendor, okay, so here I can see the complete hierarchy of this BOM. So I can share this BOM. Again, similarly, select the company with whom I want to share this, select the user. Okay, let's say I'll select different users this time altogether. This in this case is Pramod. I'll share this because this form is being worked on by another vendor. So let me log out and show you that with Pramod's ID. Login. So again, as you can see, since Pramod is a vendor, he doesn't have any of these power data to be created of his own. He only works with Delta Engineering. So then if you click on that, you will see data across this. Now, if I go to any of the documents, I'll not see any files. Forms, also again, I'll not see any files. But when I go to BOM and I change it to the project, I'll start seeing the bill of material that has been shared with Pramod. Now here I can see the whole structure of this particular bill of material, and again, if there is anything I find that okay, one of these contents are not available with me, or it is something again due to certain reasons, I can always communicate here, okay, saying that this is what the issue is, and otherwise, if you let if uh, as a promoter, as a vendor to me, he's aware of the materials that I have. He can also check out this BOM, okay, and he can update the content, saying okay, he will check out, he will edit, and he'll say okay, along with this item, we could add one more item. So let me search for the raw material here. So one of these raw materials can be used. So I know the code is 140. So I'll assign this. I'll save it. Okay. Now, if you remember in the beginning, in my login, I did not have this Pramod added. So right now, Pramod is adding this. So it says credentials over here. And I'll check this in as an update. Okay. Now here it will capture what Pramod did, like he checked out, checked in when he did it. Okay. This information is captured even when it was shared with Pramod, it's captured here. If I go back to my ID and if I just refresh, I can see the raw material that was added with Pramod is here, and I can still see this information where that the activity was performed by Pramod and what update he did across being captured in the company. So this way, we will be able to share forms as well and collaborate with the vendors. So that way, so this is what we're talking about: the ability to share project level bombs or master level bombs as well. This applies to the master level as well. But predominantly, it's usually the projects on which the vendors work on. So only project bombs make more sense. And the variants can be created, and also we can manage or version control can be done. I can also, yeah. So we can also do a compare of bill of materials or within the version. So there are two types. Whether when you have multiple bomb names, like in this case, we have three different bomb names. So you can use compare bomb to compare between what's difference in SSG1, SSG2, and the might saw here, or within this version. So if I want to compare both versions, I can select version 2 to version, sorry, from version 1 to version 2. So you can see there is a comparison that shows that this particular item is added. So similarity, how much it is, all that. If I were to do the form compare between two, let's say, my saw and one of the FFGs, this will give more information. So depending on how many contents are there, it will show what items are added, what items are deleted, and it will give a summary of what the uh, you know uh, change is about over here. So here you're actually seeing that I am not indulging in any of the activities where I'm actually downloading my form, sharing with my vendor, and waiting for him to respond in a mail. Then, if after some, if I'm occupied, I don't have to go through my emails or any other, the link-based mechanism where I'm searching for where the link is, what was the update, which was the latest update. I don't have all those hassles. Directly, I can see the latest update. I'll get notifications. So all the changes that I've done, all the notifications that are out there will come to me here. Like saying, here you can see this is the notification right here. This can be extended to emails as well, where saying which BOM material was updated by which user at what time and everything. Okay, when you share the BOM or you share the form, you share the document, it will go as a mail saying that in this case, my ID was Monit. So Monit has shared so and so form, so and so document, so and so form with promote and with a link that takes him directly to that particular location of the items, like could be forms or anything. So all this is closely encompassed within the DTX system. So all these previous challenges which you used to face, which we saw in the very beginning with regards to mismatch in data, following up, delays because of the communication gap. So all that will be avoided with help of the features that are available within the DTX. Now let's go next. Now in this, we're talking about project plan, where we can define and schedule project, track them, and also assign BOM resources and everything, and see how the project is performing. Now, even within the project plan, we can extend one of the activities. In this example, I think one of the activities, if let's say the vendors are part of multiple tasks, then we can assign multiple tasks to them, and they can see them there, and they can give their inputs on how the progress is going. They can fill timesheets along with your users, and you'll be able to track the progress where the delay is happening. And before even there's a delay, you'll be able to know with the help of the timesheet record. Let's just go to that. Now, I'm still in Monit login. So I'll go to this project. I believe one of this activity here is for vendors. Let me just scale it to a much smaller range. So this vendor feedback is one of the activities, and in this I have already assigned Karthik and Sriganda as the assignees. So Karthik is part of my own team here within the Delta Engineering, whereas Sriganda is the external source vendor who is actually working on this project. So Karthik is going to follow up on Sriganda to ensure that project is on track. So when a task is shared, same thing happens. I'll edit the project. I'll go to task. In the assignees, I'll select to which vendor it belong to, and I select the respective user depending on the selected tenant name. Okay. So let's say, let me just remove Sriganda for a minute. If I have to add it here again, SD, then it is for Sriganda, just add her. Okay. So like this, it will go. Now, if I log out and go to Sriganda's ID here, going back again to Delta, selecting the Delta Engineering, we go to project. Now, when I go to project, I can see in the list only project 24049 being shared with me, and you can see the only task that has been assigned to me is visible here. For a change to just showcase, let's say add one more task. Let's say that part of MBOM answer. Okay. So I will go modify this. Here I'll select SD project again, and I'll select user Sriganda, and I'll save this, save the whole project. It's updated. I can go back, and if I just refresh, now you can see I'll see two tasks that are there, the MBOM and the vendor. So immediately, as soon as the change was done, it's reflecting in the user list, and they'll be able to see that the information on when this was supposed to start, when it's supposed to end. So all these details and so all these details can be seen, and on top of it, they will be able to go to timesheet, fill the timesheet, so that you will be able to track how they're performing, how much time they spent, and everything. Now, the advantage of having this is that you'll be able to see information on when the user worked on the task. So, how do I know that? So, in this case, let me just go to reports. So here I can see the information on, you can see here for this, there are two projects that are running, and on each user when they have spent their time and how much spent and time they have spent across. So all this information can be seen. This can be seen even for the vendors, where the graph will show when and all they worked on and how much they have spent. And on top of it, the other thing is whenever there's a delay, with the help of the projected plan, if there is a delay, because the user says that let's say this task was for 8 hours, basically this client discussion kickoff is for 8 hours. But fill in timesheet you say that okay, 8 hours are consumed, but still another 2 hours or 5 hours are needed because the meeting is extended to the next day. Immediately this projected plan will show a delay here so that you'll be able to know that how much impact it will have on other tasks. You can see here there's a delay, then further this delay, so this will impact your overall project end date. And in the very beginning, you'll be able to understand where the delays are happening in the project with the help of the timesheet report. Now, apart from this, as I mentioned, digital transformation for excellence (DTX) is more about helping our customers on this journey. So what else we provide is we also provide material demand forecast, where we analyze the project, and based on the project deliverables, you'll be able to identify, okay, to get this output, what items you would need. So if you work with bill of materials in defining the materials required at each stage, you'll be able to identify which materials are required at what time. Okay, and we also provide integration custom services. So we just now saw custom dashboards. So these are some predefined dashboards that are available in DTX. Even there are for projects that doesn't show, but this is the same. It will give you information on what is the project value, how much is the duration, how much is the time spent. There is an indicator in the project that says how the project is performing. That is called project index. Okay, uh, like SPI. So that gives you the information. If it is one, it means it is very good. If it is less than one, that means you are not on track. Okay. So like this, you'll be able to see, and also for the users, they can see personal insights that will allow them to get information on the assigned task or assigned forms that they have. This is one is maybe I think I have to change it to the user. If we go to insight and change the project, go to person now. You can see all the various tasks that are out there, and the ones you see in red are basically means that they are overdue. Okay, because they're still in to do and in progress. I haven't completed those tasks, so they are being marked as overdue activity for me. So I can see this. Even if the forms are shared, I can see the forms here which have been assigned to me to work on. So all this data is available in this section, and that helps in collaboration across the team and also the vendors and suppliers. Now, at this point, I would like just uh, put one more poll to understand. This is to understand among these features that we just saw, like the form management, project planner, material demand forecast, dashboard, or integrated services. If you are interested in any of these additionally, so that we can reach out to you and talk to you and help you in overcoming these requirements with the help of DTA. So I'll keep this poll open for a couple more minutes so you can fill in the feedbacks. Okay, I'll be closing the poll. Thank you for your feedback on this. Okay, see some more feedback. So I'll keep waiting for another 20 seconds. Now, we are open to Q&A session. If any one of you have any questions with regards to the session that we had or any other topic that we discussed about today, please feel free to add those questions in the question section so that we can answer you over here. Okay, we see one question coming across. How do we add vendors or how many vendors can we add? Okay, so with regards to adding the vendors, the way you do is with the invite tenant, the method that I showed you in the very beginning. And for every license, like we usually sell the DTX in a package of five or a bundle. So depending on how many bundles you have bought, that many vendors can be added easily. So if you the basic bundle goes by five. So if you buy that for any of the modules, like the bomb or any other module, so then you'll get five vendor additionally. So three on top of it, if you want to add any more, it will be separately charged. We have one more question asking with regards to where all this data will be stored and how it is being controlled. So the data is everything is stored within the cloud, that is on the AWS server. So you don't have to worry about security because we all know how well the security is with regards to AWS service. So everything is stored securely there, and only your data is visible to you and the people with whom you share. Okay, so thank you all for attending this webinar. If you have any other questions, please reach out to us through mails or the numbers. You can reach out all to me on this my email ID, and also you can reach out to the marketing mail through which you got this webinar invite, and you'll be able to we'll be able to reach out to you and help you if you have any further questions. Thank you.